Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. It is July 25th, about 9:15 p.m. Central Time, my time. I appreciate everybody tuning in to this episode. We are 2 days away from training camp, 2 days away from camp, where we'll have some action finally get started and kicked off. Please subscribe, like, and share. This channel is still young and new. I'm on a mission to try to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can do live shows and other fun stuff like that, guys. Anybody who watches this video that's not subscribed, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. It really does. I've been a fan for 30 years. I'm 36, 6 years old. I got my first game. Blood blue ever since. Don't know why, but I fell in love with the star that night when they're playing Buffalo, Super Bowl 28. 2 days until camp, guys. What I want to know is what happened to our owner, Jerry Jones, our owner, the risk taker, the guy that wanted to go for the gusto, the guy that did whatever it took to win those 3 Super Bowls in the early 90s. What happened to him? Calvin Watkins stated, I believe today or yesterday, that Anthony Barr has been a summer-long interest in free agency, but multiple sources say there's no plans to sign him at this stage. So, multiple sources say there's no plans to sign him at this stage. Apparently, he's got a knee problem, and maybe it's not quite there yet. I don't know. A lot of people thought us or Washington would sign him before camp, and Washington passed on him too. And Washington, with that front seven they have, could really use him also. So, maybe he does have a bad knee problem. I don't know. But he's not the only linebacker out there. You still have Dante Hightower and a few other guys. You still have Ndamukong Suh. Imagine if we were to sign him, what our defensive line rotation would look like. It would be so fierce. It'd be one of the best in the NFL. Stephen Jones is trying to save his way to $1 million. He's trying to save his way to a Super Bowl, and it doesn't work that way. The last 2 Super Bowl winners went all out. In 2020, Tampa Bay went all out. They go out get Tom Brady. They go out get Gronkowski. They get Ndamukong Suh. They get whoever they had to get to win. Last year, the Rams go out and get Matthew Stafford and whoever else they had to get to win. And right now, I have not seen the NFC this wide open, and I don't know how long. AFC is the powerhouse. NFC is weak. The Packers, 12, even though he could take 5 guys off the street and make them 1,000-yard receivers, lost Devontae Adams this offseason. That was his main man. He could do without Adams for a game or two and still win, but without him at all, that's going to change the complexity of that offense. And Tampa Bay is not the same Tampa Bay team that won the Super Bowl in 2020 or the same team last year. No more AB. Chris Godwin tore his ACL pretty bad. Heard it was worse than Michael Gallup's. No more Sue. No more JPP. No more Gronk. They've lost a lot of players also. That's why I believe week 1 we have a very good shot at knocking them down at our house. Since Jerry Jones become owner, he's always been that risk taker like he was whenever he was drilling for oil. And he had maxed out all his credit. He had maxed out everything to the max, to where nobody would give him any more cash or equity to keep on drilling and doing, what he was trying to do, but he would not give up. He threw caution to the wind, sold out everything that he had, and kept going at it until he finally struck that black gold. Since he took over the team in '89, he has a Herschel Walker trade. Herschel Walker was a monster at the time. The best player on the roster by far. But him and Jimmy Johnson get together and think, hey, you know what? We suck right now anyways. He's not going to take us to the Super Bowl by himself. Let's trade him for 3 years worth of picks. A bunch of ones, a bunch of twos, a bunch of threes. In '92, the catalyst for the dynasty, he trades for Charles Haley. Niners want to get rid of him. He's a problem child. So he rolls the dice on that. That could have been a boom or bust. Charles Haley could have been a locker room disaster, or he could have been what he was, and that was a leader and a sack master for that defensive line. And in 1995, the offseason after we lost in Candlestick Park to the Niners, 38-28, whenever they signed Merton Hanks, Ken Norton Jr., Deion Sanders on a mercenary mission to try to neutralize Michael Irvin the best he could. That offseason, when Jerry Jones was on a mission to sign Primetime, Stephen Jones fought him tooth and nail to not do that. What is wrong with Stephen Jones? Something does not click up right in there. You have a great roster. And Primetime's a free agent. And if you sign him, you're pretty much going to win the Super Bowl that following season. 3 out of 4 years. And maybe 4 out of 5 years. Maybe another back-to-back. If Barry Switzer would have played his cards right. We were only 2 games away from the Super Bowl in '96. But the best cover corner to ever play the game, you have opportunity to sign him, bring him in to your team, and Stephen Jones wants to fight him for that. If we wouldn't have signed Prime that year, we might not have won the Super Bowl. We might not have beat Green Bay in the NFC Championship game. He probably was a catalyst since Switch was coaching, or was the head coach, not really coaching. Prime was a catalyst of that '95 team to make sure that they won the Super Bowl. Why would Stephen Jones fight him tooth and nail not to sign the best cover corner to ever play the game? And even after the '95 season, we had great defenses, at least good defenses, above average, good defenses the whole time we had Prime, because he would shut down one side of the field. And if y'all didn't know this, Prime didn't even go into the defensive huddle for the play. He just stood on his island. He was never in the huddle. It was a 10-man huddle. Prime just stayed where he was, because he would lock down one side of the field literally. Nobody's ever been able to do that before or since. Yeah, he had no business in the huddle. He just stayed where he was. And the defensive game plan was around him. And so just with his presence on the field made our defense as good as it was in '95, '96, and '98, '99, and the year 2000, his last year with us. So that was Jerry Jones' third, big time move. In the '99 season, Jerry Jones signs Rocket Ishmael. Beautiful signing. You got Michael Irvin, big, tall, physical receiver, and you got little Rocket Ishmael, speedster. Perfect combination, 1 and 2. We start off 3-0, hot, looking good. In week 4, Michael Irvin goes on that quick slant that white boy safety Tim Hawk hits him helmet to helmet as Irvin's going down. Irvin's last play. That took the breath of the team away. That took the heart of the team away. And it was a 3-0 Cowboy team playing an 0-3 Eagle team, and we lose that game 13-10. A game we had no business losing. Michael Irvin doesn't get hurt on that play. We don't lose that game. And we lose the following week, Monday night at the Giants 13-10. And then we beat Washington the following week. But we wind up finishing 8-8 after a 3-0 start. Only because Michael Irvin went down. If Irvin doesn't go down, I'm telling you, that season could have been a Super Bowl season. If y'all don't remember that year, week 1, when we're playing Washington, we're down 21 points in the fourth quarter. We come back and tie the game and go into overtime. And on the first possession, we have the ball. And on the second play, Troy Aikman play actions to Emmett and then hits Rock'em Ishmael for a bomb 80-yard touchdown pass in overtime to win the game 41-35. Beautiful start to the season. Offense was rolling on all cylinders. But you take the number 1 receiver away, it really, really cramps things down. The reason why we finished 8-8 and won 8 games was because we had a good lockdown defense. If we didn't have a good defense, it would have been a losing season after that. So the first 4 worked out pretty good. After that, the following year, 2000, he trades 2 first-round picks for Joey Galloway. That turned out not to work out very well. Galloway's first game at home against Philly, the blowout, that was 42-14. He tears his ACL when he had no business being in the game with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter in a blowout. So his first season, he doesn't even really play. And those 2 first-round picks could have been very valuable, being that we were 5-11 the following years. Those would have been high picks. Galloway was good for us in 2003 when he was paired up with Terry Glenn and had Jason Witten as a rookie tight end and Richie Anderson as a good receiving fullback. So that one didn't work out, right? In 2006, against Bill Parcells' wishes, he goes out and signs Terrell Owens. I hated Terrell Owens when he was with the Niners, whenever he disrespected the star, and I really hated him when he went to Philly. But I loved him when he was a Cowboy. When he put that star on his helmet, he was my man. And that was a great signing because it made our offense so prolific. Without Terrell Owens, we wouldn't have made the playoffs in 2006. And we definitely wouldn't have been the juggernaut we were in 2007. And if he wouldn't have broken his leg week 15 against Carolina when we clinched the number 1 seed, he had to break his leg like he did with Philly right before the playoffs started. If he wouldn't broken his leg, and he'd have been 100%, because he played in the Giant game in the second round where we lost 21-17, but he was not near 100%. Everybody knows it. If he was 100% and had never broken his leg week 15 at Carolina, I believe we beat the Giants because Terrell Owens was their kryptonite that season. He had 2 touchdowns in both those games that they played. He had 4 total against them that season, and almost 400 yards against them. No. It was about 300. But a healthy Terrell Owens in that 2007 divisional playoff game. We win that game, and Green Bay comes to Texas Stadium for the NFC Championship game. So I say that was a good move. The following season, he trades a first-round pick for Roy Williams mid-season to try to lift the team up. That was supposed to be an all-star team because during that all-season after the 2007 season, we signed Tate Johnson, Pac-Man Jones, got Felix Jones as a first-round pick. Ow. Ow. Start off 3-0 also, but something was missing. Just wasn't the same team, and so he traded a first-round pick for Roy Williams from Detroit, hoping that would make the offense just so dynamic with so many weapons. But Romo was hurt for a few weeks. Brad Johnson, was our backup, and he was horrible. Lord, I was in Vegas that weekend when he played his first game, and it was against the Rams, which the year before we waxed them 42-7. And, we got waxed by the Rams that game with Brad Johnson at the helm. And even when Romo did come back, Roy Williams was really non-effective. You wouldn't even know he was on the team. So that was a wasted first-round pick. That one didn't work out. And then his last big move was 2018, giving the Raiders a first-round pick from Amari Cooper. That worked out. That was a season turnaround. We're 3-4 because we got no, number one receiver. We signed Cooper. We lose the first game with Cooper Monday night against Tennessee. Go to 3-5, but then go on a 5-game winning streak. And Cooper really went off during that 5-game winning streak, especially against the Eagles at home. I was at that game when he had that trifecta. That was beautiful. And then overtime, he gets that third touchdown, blah, blah, blah. So in the 8 biggest moves, that Jerry has made as owner / GM / president, you could say only 2 didn't work out: Joey Galloway and Roy Williams. The rest, I would say, did. And why is he letting Steven do what he's doing? Steven wants to roll the $23 million to next year so he can re-sign CeeDee Lamb and Trayvon Diggs, even though the salary cap is going up exponentially the next 2 seasons. What about this season? It's like Stephen Jones is not looking at this season. He's overlooking this season into next season. He's worrying about next year and the year after that. You worry about this season. You worry about now. The future is now. Jerry Jones needs to put the pants back on in the family. Tell Steven to sit down and go back to being the old Jerry that he used to be. Go sign Ndamukong Suh to a 1-year contract. If Anthony Barr isn't healthy, go sign down to Hightower to a 1-year contract. Because he's better than Luke Gifford. Because right now Luke Gifford is our starting weak side linebacker. We only got 2 backers with experience, and one of them only has 1 year, although he is a freak of nature. Sign Ndamukong Suh, sign an experienced linebacker, and go out and sign a Will Fuller or a Julio Jones. I think Julio Jones could flourish because in Tennessee, he was getting a lot of attention. If he comes to Dallas with CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup coming back after a couple games, I don't think he's going to get a lot of attention. He's going to get a lot of one-on-one looks, and I think he can beat them one-on-one looks. But if not, sign Will Fuller, or trade a 4th-round pick to Tampa Bay for Jalen Darden, 2nd-year player, 4th-round pick for Tampa. Guy's getting no playing time because he's behind Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Brashad Perriman, Scotty Miller, and everybody else. He's 5'8", $170, and blazing fast, and he returns punts pretty well. We need a punt returner, and we could use more speed. He could take the top off of defense. With the NFC this wide open, why not go all in this season, right now, instead of worrying about next season? Let next season worry about next season. Stephen Jones, Jerry, take over the team and be the owner they used to be, that we used to love to hate. Because right now, we could use some Jerry Jones. Some old school Jerry Jones. We could really use that right now. Because we are all on the cusp of doing something great. All we need is a few X factors to solidify what we're going to do and to be the catalyst and make this team something else. You bring the Ndamukong Suh and Anthony Barr, Dante Hightower on this defense, it's going to be a number one ranked defense. I'm going to tell you that right now. And Kelvin Joseph has been cleared by the police of any wrongdoing and what happened, and a good possibility that he does not serve a suspension. So watch out. He might have a breakout season in his sophomore campaign. He might beat out Anthony Brown in training camp for the number 2 spot. He had a lot of talent. That's why he was a second-round pick. We'll see. And one thing I thought was funny, Lyle Collins, Bengals start training camp. Lyle Collins is starting training camp on the, what is it called? On the NFI list, non-football injury list. Apparently he has a back injury that he's been struggling with throughout his career. And tomorrow he turns 30 years old. That's why we released him, because he had basically almost missed 2 seasons. Was not the player he was in 2019 and was very unprofessional. And now he's about to be 30. And Terrence Steele is a better, younger right tackle than he is now. Lyle Collins belonged at left guard, not at right tackle. So getting rid of him was addition by subtraction, like I say. And Tyler Smith, can't wait to see him moving boys off the ball, letting Zeke and Pollard run up the middle, and Terrence Steele crashing in that right side like he was last year when he was playing those 7 games and letting Zeke and Pollard run off that right side. This year, we're going to be running the football first and letting that set up the pass. What else was I going to hit on? I think that's about it. Oh, yeah, and fun fact, Dak Prescott is only the 3rd quarterback, one of 3 quarterbacks in the NFL that has been with his team for 5 or more seasons. Aaron Rodgers and who else would be the 3rd one? Well, I can't think of the 3rd one, but yeah, there's only 3 quarterbacks that have been with their team for 5 or more years. Dak is one of them. And I'm excited to see how he plays this year. Because what he did last year on one leg, you got to give him credit. I mean, he was injured all season. He was 50%, and he breaks Tony Romo's passing record and was 1 yard away from tying Romo's passing yard record, 2 yards away from breaking his single-season passing yard record. But he broke his single-season touchdown record with 37. Romo threw those 36 touchdown passes back in 2007 when we were 13-3. So what Prescott did last year, coming off a horrific injury, was impressive given the circumstances. You got to give him credit for that. And the shape that he's in, and finally getting an off season for the first time in 2 years, and finally getting a full off season with CD Lamb. He's never had an off season with Lamb. Lamb's rookie year was COVID, so it was all virtual. And last off season he was all rehabbing. So no rehabbing, no COVID. He can have a full off season with his number 1 this year, and with Tolbert, and him and them boys are putting in work. Even when they're not working, they're working together on the side with this big ass football field in his backyard. This team is for real, but we need Jerry Jones to put the pants back on in the family and be that owner / GM / president that we used to love to hate. Because we need that guy now, this season. That guy shows up in training camp and brings in some good outside players. We're going to be set to go, baby. We're going to be set to go. I mean, I like our team as it is now. But we do need a veteran linebacker. And it would not hurt to put a big run, stuff, blob, and Ndamukong Suh in the middle of that defensive line. So on first and second down, when they try to pound it up the middle, it don't go nowhere. And that forces a lot of third and longs. The last two Super Bowl winners, Suh was on the 2018 Ram team, went to the Super Bowl, and he was on the 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneer team that won the Super Bowl. he has a lot to offer at 36. We need to make a move or two. For real. The future is now. Stop worrying about next year. Next year we'll take care of next year. Worry about this season. Stephen Jones, you're not going to win the salary cap bowl. There's no such thing. Those are my thoughts about that. I think if we make one or two moves in free agency on real players, I think we're going to be the favorites in the NFC, especially whenever we start 2-0. Mark my words, we will start 2-0. We're going to beat Tampa and Cincinnati at home, weeks 1 and 2. It's going to happen. That's about it for this episode. In 2 days, we start training camp, guys. Oh, it's on, y'all. DC for life, baby. We start training camp in 2 days, and there will be news after news after news after news. A lot of stuff to talk about. So please subscribe, like, and share if y'all like this video. I hope y'all did. I give everything I have into it. Try to do the best research I can before I, open my mouth. And Charles in Charge Cowboy Sports Report. If y'all got Cowboy friends, put them on my channel. Let them sub up too. Every subscriber counts. I am just counting one subscriber at a time, climbing my way to 1,000, and I will get there. And once I get there, then this channel's really gonna take off. Cause when I do live shows, when I start doing live shows, they're gonna be live. You can guarantee you that. It'll be fun, and hopefully, Jalen Darden, his aunt and his cousins are next door neighbors. So I saw the guy 2 days ago, but he went back to Tampa. I would like to get him as a guest speaker, on my show. He probably won't be back until their bye week, or maybe before the season starts, he might come back home for a day or two. But that'd be really, really cool to get him on, because I would love for the Cowboys to trade for him. He'd be perfect, because we don't have a punt returner. We need a punt returner. And guys that small get lost in traffic. And he could be like a Dave Meggett, a Boston Scott, Darren Sproles type guy. And he could be that small receiver like Rocky Ishmael, take the top off of defense. Kid's fast, and he bulked up too. From last year to this year, when I saw him 3 days ago, last year he was skinny. This year he got that the NFL all-season workout. Boy, he was packed. He had like an 8-pack. And, he looked ready to go. Send a 4th-round pick to Tampa. Go grab Jalen. Steven, do something with yourself instead of trying to save your way to $1 million, because that shit doesn't work. It's all Tampa and LA go all out, and they got rings. Jerry Jones, you said that we wouldn't believe to check you were right for one more Super Bowl. Prove it to us. That's it for this episode, guys. I've run 29 minutes. I usually try to keep it around 20, but sometimes I tend to get on a rant. Please subscribe, like, and share, guys. Love every one of y'all. God's first. Always keep God first in y'all's life. I'll tell y'all that now. He is my first and my everything, and he's given me everything. And whenever times get hard like they are now, going through struggles now, cars in the shop, engine went out, warranty's supposed to cover it. I'm praying it does, and I'm praying that we get a loaner while it's getting fixed, because it could be 2 to 3 weeks. And we have a paint business, so can't really operate without a vehicle. But God is good. I'm able to paint my next door neighbor's house right now. I gave them an estimate a month ago, and they were ready to do it this weekend. So that worked out perfect. The week I don't have a car, I'm able to do a job 2 doors down, and some other things. Just watching God at work is amazing. But that's it for this episode, guys. It's 2 days until training camp, and y'all will be seeing a lot of me. Charles in Charge is out.